Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving our praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and to the apostle of the millstone, and enough respected brothers that they're pushing and spreading the gospel of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, to the four corners of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I just wanted to do a quick lesson on the book of Numbers, the 11th chapter, specifically verse 29, but I want to go a few verses up to get the context. And the point of this video is to pretty much to show you how important a prophet is, and how grateful we as prophets of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai should be in occupying the highest office in the world. Right? This is a privilege that it's a privilege, right? And it's a privilege for few men. And the things that we do matter, right? It affects the lives of every man, woman, and child, or every living creature in God's creation. And so, this work that we do, we ought to do it with diligence and with zeal and in righteousness. And so, Numbers 11. Numbers 11:16, it says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. Okay, and so forward. Verse 24, it says, and Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord Yahweh, and gathered the 70 elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord Yahweh came down in a cloud, and spake unto him, and took the Spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. Okay, so the Spirit rested upon them. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other was Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them. So these 2 men, instead of them gathering about the tabernacle like one of the 70s, they remained in the camp. Okay, they didn't get to go over there in the they didn't get to go to the tabernacle, right? And so it says, and the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but went not out into the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. So even though they weren't physically in the presence of Moses in the tabernacle, the Spirit still found out where they are, showing you that a prophet, when he's destined to prophesy, it doesn't matter his background, it doesn't matter what country he happened to be born in, it doesn't matter his who he's surrounded in. You know how the saying goes, is it nurture or nature that shapes a human? Which the answer is neither. It's Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And especially a prophet is destined to be a prophet, no matter how many lifetimes he lives, no matter what his circumstances is, no matter his experiences in life, right? The Spirit of the Lord is is honed in on these men. And there's an example of what we read in here in verse 26. So it says, and there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, my Lord Moses forbid them. And the reason being is that, they weren't found about a tabernacle. So it looked as though these men were just going out here and doing their own thing. And you have Joshua and one of Moses' young men. They not being able to see things in a spiritual sense, they would rather everything be done under one banner that they are familiar with. But Moses tells him it's not always like that. Sometimes the Lord can have things happen on another side, and you just have to be what? You just have to abide by the will of the Lord. And the same thing happened with Yahushua when his disciples wanted to let me see, forbid them. Let me see if I can not against. All right, I can't think of the specific verse right now, but pretty much Yahushua said the same thing that Moses was saying. Don't forbid them that preach just because you don't know them, right? And so it says, and Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, My Lord, forbid them. And Moses said unto him, Envious thou for my sake? Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord will put a spirit upon them. And Moses got him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. And so, which shows you that the prophets are really important. And the people who don't find the value in a prophet are those who end up, putting themselves in a situation where the Lord has to kill him. That's why, what was it? 1 Corinthians, verse 14 and 5. Verse 2, it says, For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. For no man understandeth him, howbeit the Spirit he but howbeit in a spirit he speaketh mysteries. But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort. He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself, but he that prophesieth edifieth the church. A prophet edifies. A prophet prepares the souls of the servants of the Lord, or those who love the Lord, to endure unto the latter end. Prophets are very, very important. They are shepherds. They lead the people in a way that pleases the Lord, and when the Lord is pleased, good things happen. But it says, I would that ye all speak with tongues, but rather ye prophesy. Right? Because prophecy is the most important thing right now. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues, except he interpret, that the church may receive edifying. The most important gift a man can have is prophecy, because what the scripture talks about, what was it? The spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Yahushua. So, I have a think of another one. Let's see. Right here. There it is. The book of Mark 9:38. This was what I was referring to about Yahushua. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not with us. And we forbade him, because he followeth not us. But Yahushua said, Forbid him not, right? For there is no man which shall do miracles in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. For whosoever shall give you a cup of water to drink in my name, because he belongs to Hamashiach, verily I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. So this thing that we do is very important, and there is a reward for us in the future. Okay? And that's why, Paul talks about we have not been given the spirit of fear. When you understand the position that you're in, you understand what you're involved in and who you serve and how important your service is, you look at these times that are approaching and you can stand firmly. Right? There's no more time left to be lollygagging. There's no more time left to be procrastinating. This is the time for you to make a stand. And showing you how important prophets are, it says, and Yahushua went out, Matthew 9:35, and Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous. There's a lot of work to be done, but the laborers are few, a lot of edification to go out. Pray ye therefore that the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Right. That's why Moses said, I would that the entire nation of Israel were prophets. It's important to have prophets in place. That's why it never makes sense for anyone to despise a prophet. And that anyone who does, ultimately the Lord is gonna, look upon your foolishness and pronounce death in your life. So that was pretty much the point that I wanted to prove. I hope edification goes out. Shalom Yahal Bashim Shabrakatham to Akim Sinakwas that are listening to it in sincerity. In closing, we want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.